That should be better. I think there was an order of operations problem on my end as I rushed to get everything started when I realized I had time to do this. There is very definitely an order that I have to begin the operations. So hopefully some of you will still be here or will come back, or maybe give it a minute or two before I actually get too stuck in to doing things. There are still people here. Excellent. Nothing like a false start. So the plan for today is to do, as the title may have implied, lots of liming. So I have made a few little tweaks. So I added in the enhanced fill types mod, which lets you lime from manure spreaders. So I'm going to do it from here. And then I also ever so slightly increased the... Oh, it's not activated, is it? Going so well. Let's quit the game, enable that mod, and then we can actually achieve something. Nothing like a professional. This was very, very last minute, so I'm going to blame it on that. Yeah, so I've increased the capacity of that manure spreading attachment to 10,000 litres rather than the standard. I think the biggest it does is 3,400, because spreading lime with 3,400 litres capacity is going to be horrendously painful. So let's throw down a store point and just actually look like we're going to make some progress, shall we? So initially, in fact, it's still edited. I edited this one, which is a side throwing manure spreader, which really confused me when I looked in the XML and didn't realize that it was a side spreading manure spreader. So yeah, I've got a sneaky suspicion actually that it may be similar to the Yan. I think it may be very economical as well, having done a little test to make sure it worked, but we'll see. So this is the guy, the Gruber. I imagine he should have a little tank. That's probably lost on a lot of people. I suspect Mr. Haythornthwaite is of the correct generation to get that one. Yes, I did a very, very quick test. Fisher J, how are you doing? Good to see you again. It's becoming a habit. I'm not going to repeat that. I shall say this only once. Ah. I'm okay, apart from a false start and now some very, very bad jokes. I'm good. Hey, Chris. Yes, I did a very quick test. Let's get back to what we're supposed to be doing, shall we? And this seemed very, very economical with the lime, but I only drove about 4 feet, so it may or may not actually be as economical as it would have appeared. Yes, yes. The Fallen Madonna with the big. That was such good Sunday afternoon TV. Or UK Gold TV more recently, I guess. And TV that you probably couldn't make these days because it's far too offensive. So yeah, I think all 3 fields actually need lime spreading, so I'm not sure on the working width. Come on. Work, brain. Brain does not want to work. Let's do it this way. Detect width. Why does it think the width is 0? Okay. Manure spreaders. The width is 12 meters, right? There we go. Perfect. That will do the job very nicely. I think we've shown... I'm pretty sure the teenagers watched it with us. I can't remember if she enjoyed it or not. She's definitely a massive Friends fan, which is a little bit later, I guess. A little bit later. Yeah, I'm not sure on the usage rate on here because it's so long since, I said before, so long since I've played without precision farming. I guess I'm playing without precision farming on Valley of the Old Farm to know what lime application rates should look like. But to me, that feels quite slow for base game lime. It feels like it should be kind of flooding out of the back. But I'm not sure. That'll about do. That'll about do. Yeah, I think you might be right. Which is surprising, but maybe that's why the capacity was low. Oh well. I'm not going to complain. I did ponder, actually. I had the XML open just a few moments ago, and I did ponder adjusting the usage rate, but clearly I didn't need to. I didn't actually look at it. I just thought maybe I should adjust that. Did not need to. So this will put me one stream away from being able to achieve Twitch affiliate status. Finally. I'm a little bit, I'll be a little bit away on time, but if I stream Terra Life next week, then that will easily get me the time, because that'll probably be like a 2-hour stream. So. It's only taken me like 1 billion years to achieve Twitch affiliate. Well, when I get there. But, you know. I feel like I've got a little bit of momentum at the moment on doing this, so. Yeah, that's the jobby. There's another one as well, isn't there? There's 2 that control it. Afternoon Bill. I can't remember what. There's another one as well. There's 2, I think. Or maybe it's spread. I'm definitely sure there's another one you can adjust to change it. I'm sure when I did the video on the Yan, I'm sure when I was looking in XML, some of them used something slightly different to tweak it. I'm quite happy with the rate this is using stuff. It's quite nice. It's actually proving to be quite a nice little setup. That is not quite right, is it? That is not quite right. And that suggests that it's not quite 12 meters, unless it's just visually not 12 meters. Lime. Nope, that's not quite right. Go down to 10. It's all going so smoothly, isn't it? Yeah. I'm sure there was another one that I saw that did something slightly different to the Yan. But I can't remember what variable it was that it changed. And it was so long ago. And I've looked at so much XML since then. And I've had so many other things pushed into my brain to replace that. I need to finish. I think I'm about 75% of the way through the XML comparison for the old and the new version of Animal Food Editions. I really need to finish that, but I really don't feel like sitting looking at spreadsheets and XML at the moment. And the slight is that right? Is that going to work? The slightly tricky bit is that I feel that just putting the numbers in. No, it's not quite that. Oh, geez, that's annoying. I hate when auto width doesn't work. Right, let's try that. I feel like it's not really doing it justice if I only just go. These are how the numbers have changed. So what I'm trying to do is break out my old can you make money spreadsheets and do some very, very rough, as we would have said a long time ago, but you wouldn't say these days, and I'm going to change the word, back of a cigarette packet calculations to work out what the change in profitability is. And that means it's just a little bit more brain power usage. And Sunday afternoon doesn't feel like, my brain doesn't feel like being engaged. So, as you've probably picked up from how well I'm doing here. I've just had lots of fun actually on, I always miss where the HUD is, there we go, on Valley of the Old Farm, playing forestry with a new toy. I've got myself a new forestry toy on there. It's very cool. It's very cool. I never expected to, having been so negative on the forestry DLC, I'm actually finding that some of the features that are in the forestry DLC are really good fun. The thing that I brought on Valley of the Old Farm makes use of the winches, and it's really cool. It's really cool. I am yet again surrounded by the dogs, so you may get the occasional dog sound effect coming through as well. Thankfully, the one that I've just had to tell off was doing what it was doing quietly. I think that is probably good enough once we've finished that gap. So let's cut straight across to the canola field. Come on, forwards. I don't know if any of you who are here today were here on yesterday. Such good English. Such good English. When literally as I pressed the end button, Paul decided to raid with like 160 people, something like that. Excellent timing on my part. Not that I knew he was going to do that, but you know, that would have been kind of extreme, weird, fun. But I don't actually know if he's streaming today. If he is, he's probably going to be much later. But I can't check on my phone because I'm using my phone as a stream deck at the moment because that's kind of working well. I decided to. I can't remember. It didn't cost very much, but I decided to pay for the Stream Deck app to control OBS to try and avoid having to tab out of the game quite so often. Just to do basic stuff like scene switching or muting mics or whatever. It's good. It's good. I can just about have everything balanced on the chair. It's quite a random setup that I use. It's quite random. I have I think I've said the microphone is attached to a side table. I have a portable monitor balanced on the arm of the sofa next to me from my laptop, and then my mobile phone is on the arm of the other arm of the chair, acting as a stream deck, as I said. It's very, very janky, but it works. So, you know, I'm not going to complain too much. Maybe a little bit, because that's what I do. I ended up not having the mead last night as well, having Googled about the medication that I take and alcohol. It actually got me thinking about some other things as well. Like a lot of medications, they say don't do it. Basically, kind of just a standard blanket, but apparently it is used to help stop alcoholics drinking, because it amplifies the effects of alcohol. And it generally just discouraged me, all the things that I read. So, but it also got me thinking that I have found since I've upped the dose that I seem to be much more caffeine sensitive. So I'm wondering if it's making me more caffeine sensitive as well. And not in a good way caffeine sensitive. Like caffeine sensitive, like I can feel the caffeine in my heart. So I am thinking that I might need to ease up on the caffeine a bit. I'm seeing the headache specialist in a couple of weeks. I'm going to ask him about that, whether that's a thing or not. Yeah. I was expecting to get a hangover afterwards anyway, but the idea of having amplified effects of stuff just didn't really appeal. So it stayed in the fridge last night. I might end up just trying a little bit, just to... It seems like a bit of a waste, seeing as my friend spent probably a reasonable amount posting it. So it's quite heavy. And in general, it's not a massive bother for me because I don't drink, but in this particular occasion, it was a little bit annoying. In terms of crops to plant, actually, the other thing that I need to look out for is on the map. We do have some root crops lurking about. Good. I need to get a root crop harvesting contract, which probably there aren't going to be any ready yet, I imagine. Maybe that past it's field 12 ready. Oh. Yeah, we need root crop harvesting contract to get the root crops to feed the sheep through the winter. But then I need to work out what to plant, and I guess it's going to be a mixture of I kind of feel like we could almost get away with planting one field to be feed and the other to be cash crop. Or like one and the maybe field 20 and a half of field 21. We do not need a very big area to be root crops. So I could maybe cut off the end of field 21 to be a root crop field. Plant field 20 with a grain again to do. I don't know if I've got crop rotation installed. I have. So we'll need to account for that. But I need to plant something to do whole crop and grain grist. And then it can be cash crop. Because I think the grass pasture is big enough. And the other thing that I can think of doing is planting more grass and just expanding how many sheep we have. But that feels kind of unnecessary. Is there anything good in the sales at the moment that we need? We don't need a plough. You fancy that cedar? No, we've got a tedder. That forklift. We'll go back to that in a moment. I find that this kind of gives you guys more of an insight into how I play a lot more, because I do kind of end up jumping around a lot, and like on like long runs like this, being in the store looking at stuff and or looking at my phone or all sorts of other things. So there's a better contracts version. Oh, it's the same as the Maze Plus version. Okay. Yes, we need to think about a. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess I could maybe look at, and something like field 29 would be good for root crops. It's quite a long field. I was just thinking about maybe doing something like where that piece of woodland is, just cutting down there and making a small strip field. Because I think even like field 12 is going to be way more than we need. 29. Yeah, let's have a look at that in a minute. We can afford to buy it. I wonder what's in there. I'm going to need to refill in a moment. Field 29 has crop do you have in you? It's golden. And it costs 70 grand. Corn. Oh, it's corn. Okay. Yes, I was being slow. We're not doing boxes of root crops. No. The reason I was thinking about this morning. The reason I don't want to do boxes is because they're a pain to use, because you can't load up a bucket or anything from them, so you have to put them in the trigger, and that's going to make it really difficult to feed small amounts. So I'm not sure on, and I guess partly it depends on what kit's offered for the contract, or whether we go the only really sensible option for small scale root crop harvesting. How much do I think we need? Let's go for about 6,000 litres to refill. Lime. That's further away than I thought. Was there a... I guess if we could get a harvesting contract for the corn and then buy the field. I don't fancy leasing a harvester to harvest the corn, and we don't need maize silage, so and we have got a lot of cash, and I guess we could sell the excess. So if we were to do, maybe we can have a look at a crop rotation at some point. So we've done wheat. We would need to do a root crop, and we've done canola. We could do canola again, although canola is not particularly profitable. And we had corn, didn't we? Do any root crops follow wheat well? Carrots. I don't really fancy doing that whole field full of carrots, to be honest. I guess we'd go corn into root crop, wouldn't we? Right, let's do corn, carrots, parsnips. So corn into carrots. And then into wheat. I mean, that field goes to corn. That would sort of work. That would sort of work. I can't remember if sunflowers are a good return. There's a video for that. I was so frustrated. I deleted because I did that video really early on. It's one of the ones that I don't have the spreadsheet for anymore. And I just don't have the results from it handy. I think I did a screen grab from the video at some point. Yeah, I did it from the XML. I think it's personally, I think it's the best way to do it because it's from the data. And that's one of those bits of data that really no mod changes. So it removes some of the randomness of the game, because there is a little bit of random variation in the game, and it removes a little bit of the inconsistency that you might get from actually playtesting it in the game. load that spreadsheet up and check if sunflowers are worth doing. I guess it would be nice to minimize the amount of kit that we need. But maybe that's not a problem. I kind of don't want things to actually get a proper headland. I don't want to get things too big either, because I want this to be manageable to do in kind of small chunks. Of like the sort of hour that I'm generally doing. So it's why I did kind of think very, very small root crop field, because we probably, I mean, the amount of root crop we need is almost not even worth growing them, because it's probably less than 10,000 litres. Do I have seasons on? Who do you think you are watching? Of course I have seasons on. I don't play without. I think I've played once without seasonal growth on. And that was when I was playing against the noob. Will sunflowers just fit on the end here? Actually, kind of, they do. There's a crop rotation. I only have 400k in the bank because I started with, I think 1.2 million, and I just haven't spent very much because it's a small farm. That is a fair point. That is a fair point. I also have bought almost nothing so far. So I think that's very quickly going to vanish when we, you know, like have to plant crops and things. Let's spin around. No, the working width on this is way smaller than I think it is. Come on, go forwards. No, I like the idea of throwing some sunflowers in. Anything that I guess is worth checking. Well, actually, the combine we leased was not expensive. Is if we're harvesting, we would have to hold on to the combine for a month. But that's not the end of the world because it wasn't that expensive. Afternoon, Pete. Nice of you to wake up and join us. But that shouldn't be a problem because it wasn't massively expensive to lease the combine, so that would work. That would work. I probably wrong button. Need to, yeah. Actually, if we harvested them then, probably going to need to put in a silo, I think. Wonder if that the new meds that are making you that sleepy, Pete. I wonder if it's worth us buying that little plot of land and clearing it and putting a silo there. I mean, I'm not judging because you can probably guess by the fact that I'm online in the afternoon and Mrs. D is in bed because she's not feeling great, so. Medication and being unwell does bad things to people. So yeah, if we end up buying, oh, I should turn off autosave. If we end up buying that, which is 50, and that, which is 70, that's 130 grand. I wonder what that little plot is. Plot 32. Right, look after yourself, buddy. We should go and see what plot 32 is. See if that would fit a silo. Giddy's also just woken up from his nap. But he looks like he might have to have another one to recover from waking up. Today marks 7 years of us having Giddy. He's still as energetic and dumb as the day we got him. Oh, he's on the move. He's on the move. Drink time. Yeah, he wanted a drink. You didn't need to hear that. I wonder if that is that little... That plot looks like it might be too small for that. Maybe we need to have a fly around the map when I finish this. Because this won't take that much longer, I don't think. And then... Maybe we'll call it a day at that point. I have food in the oven, so I do have a timer going, but we've got plenty of time for that. I also have more cooking to do this afternoon. I'm in the office tomorrow. I need to make food to take with me so that I don't end up eating junk food or bad food or expensive food. Because that also affects how my head feels. Not too worried about those little tiny missed bits. We're not quite going to make it, are we? It's really handy that you guys know this map. Yeah, if there is a plot with... I know there's a plot with a shed on over there, but it's not got a silo. If there is one already that's got a silo on that's not too expensive, that would be quite useful. I think that farm's got a silo. But I don't really want to buy that just yet, because that'll instantly mean we start to get into doing cows, and that will kind of distract from the fact that I'm trying to run a sheep farm. That's an interesting side effect, Pete. I would have thought that the medication you would be taking would be to reduce risk of things like fractures. Given that it's for we brought this. Okay, cool. Given that it's for osteoporosis type stuff. Not increase the risk. But then again, that's like some of the headache medications that I've taken in the past have a potential side effect of can cause headaches. So, hopefully you can't hear my neighbours, who seem to have started drilling. I swear that house must have so many holes in the wall. And they've stopped, thankfully. It's bound to be 3 more trips, isn't it? Bound to be. Unless I guess it's more likely to make you fall over and result in you fracturing your hip or thigh bone. That is a very weird side effect. Because you would think that that medication is designed to make your bones stronger, not weaker. Yeah, they're going to need some fertilizer as well. I feel like we could do with putting in somewhere to get manure on here. Unless there's already a manure buy point on here. Manure. Manure. There he is not. Because that would be quite useful. Might add one in. The ticket is we now have a manure spreader. Alright, let's put this way, and then it's time to enable Neo mode. I'll unload that at another point, because we don't have anything to move the bags around yet. I couldn't decide what I wanted to get. That sounds a bit like there was a medication that my mum had to take for something that was once a week. Alright. Such an annoying noise. There's a soccer pitch. Does anyone want to play soccer? That looks like a sell point to me. Yeah. Yeah, that's a sell point. That's the cow farm, which does have a silo, but I don't want to buy that yet. That looks like a sell point. What's that one there? That's just a shed. That's the pig farm, I think. Andronic acid. Sounds yummy. Horses? I don't see it yet. Let's speed up a little bit, shall we? That looks like just a shed. Yep. I don't see anything that looks like a... It's got a... Is that... That looks like a sell point to me. Yeah, that's a sell point. I guess the other way to do it would be to... tip stations, loading stations. It's not going to show them on the map, is it? I don't see it. You'll have to message me, Chris, and let me know where it is. Is anyone that I know there's this. But I'm kind of saving that for much later on. So I'm stopping talking when the neighbours drill so that it doesn't hopefully make it through. Which seems to be fairly repetitive at the moment. I guess it could be a silo in a shed. Could it be this one? Ah! Could it be this? Could it be this? Could this be a silo? I guess it could be. Because it's got an empty thingy. Ah, it is. Okay. And that only costs £38,000. Excellent. Let's have a look inside, shall we? Well, that's kind of cool. Thank you, Chris and Mark, for the idea of where it might be. That's cool. I like that. I like that. And that works quite well if we are going to end up purchasing this field. Yeah, I don't think we can afford that field yet, though. But I think we could definitely afford... I'm going to wait until that field... well, that's fixable. That's easily fixable. I know a man who knows how to edit XML. Does it say? I'm not sure. Anyway, I think with the now very frequent drilling noises, I am going to unfortunately end it because it's annoying me, and it's starting to annoy the dogs as well. So thanks for stopping by, guys, and I'm going to end it relatively abruptly, I think, while there's a quiet gap. We've made some cool progress, and yeah, I'm hoping to sneak in one more stream in the week. Oh, hello, Monarchs. You've been very quiet. Hoping to sneak in one more stream in the week before either Thursday or Friday. I will probably be streaming Terra Life. Not sure which day. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday, guys, and I will see you next time.